Worst, yeah. Worst and first and Prim Paul. Crazy fuck. This goes to show you that you can be worst and you can be first. Put me in the motorcade. Put me in the death parade. Yep. This is the stream that sets it all off, guys. I'm sorry I have to do it, but it was my destiny. It's what I was born to do. From here, everything will collapse. I'm sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Sorry, not sorry. I'm glad you enjoyed your lookup of Tom Waits. I got a cherry popsicle right on time. I got a big sticky mama that'll blow your mind. Good morning to you. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're feeling well. This is literally 1984, dude. Everything is literally 1984. If you get banned, literal 1984. You get timed out, literal 1984. That song was on The Heart of Saturday Night, I believe. I challenge everyone to donate. That's right, Ann Prim, Paul. You tell them. Ice Cream Man? No. They might have covered it. Maybe Van Halen covered it, but I'm pretty sure Ice Cream Man is a Tom Waits original. Did you eat? Shit. No. I didn't. I guess I'll pay for that. Too late now. Too fucking late now. Thunder. Nice peach. Thunder. Why do they make peaches look like butts now? They know that that looks like a butt ripping out of a pair of tights. You know what I mean? They're just using it anyway. They make the fucking emoji peach look like a big badass ripping out of a pair of tights, dude. Don't. No, dude. No AC/DC today. I'm on a highway to hell. I can't. They just. I can't. I'm on a. I can't. I can't. I can't. I can't. I can't. I will not. I shall not. I cannot. I'll come sing it for you on your deathbed. When you're slipping away, I'll come in while your family's all gathered around you, and I'll be like, "He's on a highway to hell." What's with the AC/DC memes? I had them stuck in my head the other morning. That's all. That was it. I had AC/DC stuck in my head the other morning, and I've always thought that they were hilarious, and so I was laughing about it. Sorry, sorry, my AC/DC voice is scaring your cats. Maybe they're on a highway to hell. My brother stopped my niece from playing Roblox. She is 6, but acting like a legit meth addict. Dude, I don't even understand this Roblox shit. Can somebody explain this shit to me? Can one of you Zoomers explain this Roblox shit to me? Because I've literally never even seen it. So what is it? Like it's like a chat room? That's all I know about it, is that like it's a place where you create a character and you can meet with other people. But is it like Second Life with Minecraft looking people? Oh God. For kids. Man, no. No. Dude, Chelsea, I wonder if they will. I wonder if your cats would be scared of actual AC/DC as well, or if it's just my interpretation of AC/DC that's scaring them. That's what I thought it was too, Abby. I thought it was like some like uh, simpler like Minecraft game. That's about all I knew about it. Imagine sounds from a person sound different to animals than radio. Well, yeah, but I'm over the radio. Chelsea's not here. So she's hearing me, through speakers. So if she played AC/DC through those same speakers and was like, thunder, would the cats be like, thunder? I was born at the beginning of the Zoomers, and I can't understand how they play that game. It looks so bad. I don't know, dude. I was just asking because I fully do not understand the fucking game or what it is, but I see memes referencing it all the time, and I have no fucking clue what the memes are. So I just thought maybe I'd ask, and now I know. Like saying Second Life, but for kids, that tells me everything I need to know. Like I know about Second Life. RuneScape levels of meme value. Yeah. All right, bro. All right, bro. Whatever. Hey, whatever you say. That's enough. Question answered. I get it now. I get it now. I'm a secret Roblox streamer on Twitch. You might want a jacket out here today, baby.
Yeah.
It is breezy for some reason and colder than it was for the last week. Why? Question mark. Yeah, dude. This big old cup, I have like 3 of these. These are my favorite things that I kept from Texas. I don't even think you could get a cup like this outside of Texas. They don't make them. It's just too egregiously tons of plastic. You know what I mean? Like this literally like, this is like a whole pack of red Solo cups worth of plastic just sitting here. You know what I mean? Will Highdeology ever have sponsored content? Fuck to the no. Unless I sponsor it. No. Highdeology is would never, you know, it doesn't have the viewership to turn sponsored content anyway. The true believers are few but loyal, you know. And what are you gonna do? How you doing, baby? Oh, you got some coffee. Good. Good, good, good. Excuse me.
It's all snuggled in the closet.
Closet kitty today.
Linen closet got left open.
Oh. Snuggled up in the linen closet. I see. He doesn't usually get to go in there, so that's why he's loving it.
Yeah.
Is he like up on the towels or is he down on the bottom?
Like on the bottom with the blanket.
I wonder why he never gets up like on the shelves.
I don't know. Maybe because he doesn't like how it feels being up that high. Or he freaked himself out with that.
Oh yeah.
Window.
That's true. Oh, cricket. The unknowable mind of the cricket. Highdeology reviews of pot shops and strains for sponsored content. Nope. Like I said, I'm not interested in, you know, making any different kind of money than I make with Highdeology. People come by, they want to toss me a buck or two. I'm cool with that. But I don't want this to turn into, you know, sponsor fest 20. You know, this is for me to come and chill with you guys. And sponsored streams would ruin that. You know what I mean? Just not the venue. Thunder. The Uyghur cultural genocide is a real thing. I agree. I have not myself like looked very deeply into the history of it and the corroborating evidence for it, but I trust that it's happening. Well, genocide is one of those words that like
It's a very loaded word.
It's a loaded word, right? So what's happening to the Uyghurs, once again, if the reports are to be believed, which it seems I see no reason to disbelieve them, would be classified as a genocide. They are being rounded up for their beliefs and sent to re-education camps and disappeared and all of that stuff. But it's a very loaded word because I think a lot of times people append a kind of racial or cultural difference to genocide when genocide can be done for simple capitalistic reasons, like slowly destroying the lands of people who are native to that land in order to extract the minerals from that, putting those people to work in the mines that create those minerals with no worker protections, working them to death and changing their entire culture into a capitalistic fucking nightmare is a form of cultural fucking genocide as well, in my book. When an imperialistic power moves in to an indigenous community and takes that community's resources and takes that community's people and turns them into factory slaves, not drinking all day on my birthday. Happy B-Day to me only, but Paul Zigo and Marshall Manson are beautiful. Matthew Krecklau, you're not drinking. Why does it sound like you're drinking, Matthew Krecklau? Why did that... It sounded like that was drunken already. And it's like, what? Where Krecklau is? What is it? 7 in the morning? 10 in the morning? You can't be sloppy drunk at 7 in the morning, Krecklau.
Yes. You gonna need that sweater today, huh? You felt it. You felt it on the breeze.
Yeah. He was like, I'm gonna need it.
I need it tomorrow a little bit more than yesterday, but I want to put it on yesterday.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere, yeah. Here's $2 to keep Highdeology ad-free. I mean, I can't control the ads that YouTube will often put on Highdeology replays. I have no fucking control over that shit. But yeah. I don't place ads on this. I don't make any revenue from ads on this shit.
Or if you do, it's like, ooh, 10 cents.
Yeah, I get 10 cents a month, I think, from YouTube Red or some shit. It's just absurd. This channel's been on the naughty list for a long time. And I don't care.
Oh, he's treeing.
What?
He says he's treeing.
Me seriously just treeing. Oh, okay, Krecklau. All right, Krecklau. Smoking it up, Krecklau. Adrian Zenz is the one who made the story of the Uyghurs. I don't know who Adrian Zenz is, Marxist, Leninist. And like I said, when it comes to the Uyghur genocide and the atrocities of the Chinese government, I'm willing to note that they're happening, and then I think it's time to get back to business. Like, I'm fine with people going like, yep, sucks that China's doing that. But we've got business here in the United States to take care of before we can start going and cleaning up everybody else's backyard. Yeah, I mean,
on this giant housing crisis that we haven't done anything about yet.
A giant looming housing crisis, a giant homelessness crisis, a giant healthcare crisis, a giant border crisis, a giant imperialism crisis, and a giant war crisis, and a giant environmental crisis, all unaddressed in this fucking country. All unaddressed. So that's my argument. My argument is, it is fine to point out the atrocities of other countries, but if you're going to do that, you better work quadruple hard to make sure that the land that you're living on isn't committing the same atrocity or adjacent atrocity. And in America, we cannot make that claim. We are atrocity factories over here. We export so much fucking misery, it can't even be quantified.
You say that, like, in general, you were more of a fan of, like, the protectionist foreign policy America had for a while?
I don't know.
That was before
Right.
involved in the world wars.
I mean, I don't know. I honestly don't know. When it comes to foreign policy, I guess I would prefer a protectionist foreign policy than the current interventionalist foreign policy that I've lived under my entire life. Yeah. Typical whataboutism from a tanky? Whataboutism from a tanky. Oh, it's a Paul guy, yeah. See ya. Come up with a better meme account. Where are the re-education camps in America? They're called prisons. And you're sent there if you violate non-violent rules and you're forced to work. Yeah, they're called prisons. America has the highest prison population in the world. There's your re-education camps in America. Oh, those are just prisons.
Where a lot of people have been in solitary confinement without cause for months because of the pandemic.
Where a lot of
Rather than
people are...
emptying the prisons more so they can have distancing there. We'll just put everyone in solitary.
Yep. Where a lot of people who aren't in solitary are raped daily. Yeah, those are your American re-education camps. And we like to send black people and brown people there more than we like to send white people there. Are you sent to prison just for being a Uyghur now? La 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 la. No, you're sent to prison just for being black now.
Or poor.
Or poor. Oops. Are you sent to prison just for being a Uyghur now? La, 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 la. Look over there. Look at what China's doing. Don't pay no attention to what we're doing here in America. America prison system just fine. This is fine. Them Uyghur re-education camps, though, we gotta wag our finger over there. Get the fuck out of my face. Somewhere within 20 miles of you, there are slaves doing slave labor in America, in a camp. Ooh, ooh. Oh.
Alright, you move in the posts like, well, this one's obviously much worse in China. It's like, they're both awful. And we have way more control over
What are we
our
talking
own
about much
country.
worse? How are they quantifying much worse?
Like, oh, it's sterilization in China, so it's different.
What, wasn't America forcibly sterilizing women?
Yeah, black women.
Yeah. Hello?
And like, if you're talking about like, yeah, just the present, like, what do we have control over? We have control over this country. We can put pressure on our politicians in this country to change prisons.
Or we can join our politicians in saber rattling against other countries so that we can justify economic action against them and ignore what we're doing here at home, too. We can do that.
It's like, we can't do shit against China. You wanna go be a missionary in China and fight this? You go right ahead. There's people that do missionary work in China. You can go do it.
Yep.
You're not gonna push for fucking American troops to start poking the China bear.
America isn't forcibly sterilizing anybody currently. We weren't forcibly sterilizing women at the border. You guys don't remember that? You don't remember that story coming out where women would go in because they were sick and they were in these border camps and they would give them hysterectomies and shit? You guys don't remember this in the news? Probably because the news has been so drenched with the plight of the Uyghurs recently that you've forgotten. Hello? Anybody home?
Right, you want it to be about this conversation and nothing else, and you're not listening to anything.
Right. You have nothing to you have nothing to offer other than what you've already offered, and you're not listening to anything that I'm saying. You have your position. You think that I'm wrong. You think I'm a tanky. You think that I'm somehow denying the Uyghur genocide by admitting that it exists, or justifying it by whatabouting America. I'm an American. I'm an American. I live on a plot of land where people are routinely abducted off the street for being black and thrown into prison, where they're forced to work for nothing. Now, if you want to fucking play the which one is worse game, I invite you to join the anarcho-Bidenists. They love that game. I'm here. I'm in America. And I watch America export misery, degradation, and environmental collapse every second of every fucking day. And you want me to make some moral judgment against another country?
Yeah. And
Based on what?
why are you focusing on China? What about all the Middle East and all those people that are
Yeah.
imprisoned unjustly?
What about the Yemeni genocide?
Why aren't you
Why
talking
don't you
about
care
North
about the
Korea?
Yemeni genocide? You don't care about the Yemeni genocide? The one that we support by arming and materially supporting the people perpetrating it? You don't care about that genocide, though. That genocide, whatever. The Uyghur genocide, though, because the American government is saber-rattling, because the American media is saber-rattling, because the American left and the American right are saber-rattling, you gotta join it too. Well, just make a call, Paul. Which one is worse? I don't know. I'm here. I'm in America. I know for a fucking fact what's going on here. For an absolute, incontrovertible fact. I don't need to do a research document to know what's going on in the prisons right here. I don't need to do a research document to know what happens when America moves into an indigenous community in the global south. I don't need to do a research document to know how much plastic we're dumping by proxy into the goddamn fucking ocean. I don't need to do a research document to find out how many fucking biomes we've destroyed. I don't have to do a research document about 1 million Iraqis being killed for nothing in my lifetime. Where are you? You realize we're still there? We're still in that country where we killed 1 million people, killing people in it? Wake the fuck up.
Well, if you think genocide is genocide, why would you stop talking about the genocide in Yemen and now do the one in China?
Right.
Like,
If genocide is genocide, then why don't you come in here with the same passion and talk about the Yemeni genocide going on right now? Do it. Give me a 4-hour research document on the Yemeni genocide and our material support as a country of that, and our material support of Saudi Arabia, an authoritarian regime that literally cuts people's heads off in the square for being apostates. Still, literally beheads people in the fucking public square for apostasy. We're their material supporters. Going to the Cheesecake Factory. What's your favorite flavor of cheesecake? I don't fucking know, bro. Thanks for the 10. A dumb fucking question to ask in the midst of all this.
You're not equally talking about all issues at once.
Who are we talking to here?
The same Ryan dude.
Where is he?
He was
Ryan Oglesby?
Yeah.
This dude is appending his fucking issues with Lel. So I tell you what, kiddo, 300 fucking seconds. Oops, let me unhide you. I meant to give you a fucking timeout. Let me unhide you and let me give you 300 seconds to time out so that you can learn not to be a meme lord. How's that? 300 seconds to stop appending everything you say with lel. You know what I envision when I talk to people like you that can't end a post without saying lel or lemeo? I literally picture that bug-eyed Pepe. Like the one that's all fucked up and drawn weird. Like I literally think that's what I'm talking to. Come back and talk to me like a fucking adult. You got 300 seconds to grow up. America versus China is just the Spider-Man pointing at Spider-Man meme. Yes.
didn't even bring up Yemen until you brought up Yemen. He's like, oh, I've been talking about it.
Oh yeah, dude, I care about Yemen a lot. That's why I'm in your fucking stream every other day talking about the Uyghurs. Paul mad? Goddamn right I'm mad. Why aren't you? Why are you kicked back? Still banned, SMH. Now you are. See ya. Now you know the difference, SMH. The future belongs to the mad. The answer to the question is always yes, yeah. The answer to, am I still banned, is always yes in here. If you're dumb enough to tell me that I banned you for being stupid before and you waste my time the first time you're back by being stupid again, you're just going to stay banned. And that's it. So what is it? How else do you want to misinterpret my position on this? How else do you want to fucking try and paint me as something that I'm not because of this issue? I'm here for it. Give it to me.
No, you're right, Matt. Paul is always passionate.
I try to be.
Want some more coffee?
Huh?
Want some more coffee?
Yeah, dude, I could do, if there's enough in there for a fresher. Thunder. Thunder. The actual definition of tanky, the word tanky arose in leftist circles to describe people in Great Britain who were supporters of the Soviet Union and apologists for Stalin, Mao Zedong, authoritarian left regimes, communist regimes. That's what it used to mean. Now it means someone on the left that disagrees with me. Now it's literally been stripped of any meaning that it used to have, and it's just another way to otherize a person because you don't like their fucking opinion on this, that, or the other thing. Zéo Roland. I agree. It's been adopted by the libs. Oh, I already took my meds, baby.
Oh, you just took them from another day? This is the morning ones, so.
I took Sundays.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Is today Sunday?
Today's Saturday.
Oh.
If it was Sunday, it would be late.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Well, at least I took them. At least I remembered. I just took the wrong day. About the Yemen thing, would you be equally as mad at people talking about that back when it was culturally relevant? It's still culturally relevant. Like ask why they weren't talking about some bigger issue, EX climate change. America is directly involved in the Yemeni genocide. We provide material support to the people perpetrating the Yemeni genocide. So I see that as a uniquely American issue.
Your ideas about community action. You gotta clean up your own backyard first to hope to do anything.
You think you're going to stop the Uyghur genocide by finger wagging? Is that how you think it's going to happen?
You think they're gonna be so offended when America doesn't show up at the Olympics? It's like, all right, we're gonna stop doing it right now.
Yep. That's not how China works. So the only way we could stop the Uyghur genocide is to invade China. Do you want to do that? You want to invade China and liberate the Uyghurs? Is that what you're arguing for? We provide material support to China through trade, though. Yeah, we do.
And
But that's true of every fucking...
How did the trade war with China go under Trump?
Yeah.
Consumers had to pay more.
Yep.
That was it.
Global trade is something, it's a genie you can't put back in the fucking bottle. So I'm talking about actually arming. Are we actually arming China with weapons to use against the Uyghurs and materially supporting their campaign?
Like, all fucking trade fucking shit's gonna do is like, oh, you like all those things in the grocery store? Bye-bye.
Yep. Hi, Mr. Naughty Priest. Thank you, as always, for your kind donation. Sorry I caught you right in the middle of a hit. They don't need our help.
They don't. We're not able to.
How do you want to help them?
Yeah. Like, no one's stopping you for getting on a plane and being a missionary if that's what you want.
Yeah. Go for it. Paul, how much should I donate? I don't know you don't have to donate at all. How's that? Because I don't know your financial situation, and I don't do these for donations. It's nice when people decide to throw me a donation here and there, but I do these because I enjoy them. I find them interesting and fun. $1 billion. $1 billion. How would you rate this chat? I don't rate chats on the interwebs. I can't help you there.
Support rebel movements in China. Like, supporting rebels worked so well before.
Yeah, oh yeah, dude. Our history of supporting rebels has gone down swimmingly. Look into the history of American backed coups, and tell me how those have gone down historically. I'll wait.
Thanks for your donation, Fanatic Monkey.
Oh yeah, thank you, Fanatic Monkey. What was that? What did he say?
And we donate because we find you interesting and fun.
Oh, well, thank you. For clarification, do you actually hate Vosh? I don't hate anybody, bro. Hate is a word that I would reserve for somebody that I haven't met yet. Somebody that does me so dirty that I can't but help but hate them. You know what I mean? I've never been done that dirty by a person. I also have a large capacity for forgiveness. I don't hold hate in my heart or in my soul or whatever you want to call it for the people that carjacked me when I was a young man. In fact, to be quite honest with you, when I think about those two young men now that did that to me, the thing that I think most and that I hope most is that they got out and that they turned their lives around. Now, I know that that's probably unlikely. Once you're in the system, it's very hard. Once you're institutionalized, and these two young men, after what they did to me, are definitely institutionalized, it can be very hard to escape the cycle of recidivism. And most people that end up in prison, especially at a young age, like both of them ended up in prison, end up right back in prison.
And it was very likely not their first.
Right. No, it wasn't. The kid that was 17 that was tried as an adult, he had a rap sheet as long as my fucking arm already. He went away on California's 3 strikes law. So he may never get out of prison. But my hopes when I think about these guys are that they got out and that they did something different and better with their lives and that they're okay. Because in perspective, I realize why they did what they did to me. I don't think it was right. I don't think it was justifiable. But I also don't think that they chose their lot in life. They were poor black people who grew up in a very, very bad part of California.
In a more racist area of
California. In a racist area of California. And they robbed me. And they went to jail, one of them possibly forever for it. And I don't think that those two young men are incapable of being valuable members of society. Well, they're not young men anymore. They're around my age now, older than me, in the case of the gentleman that went away for the longest period of time. One of them's, 2 years my junior, I think. And so when I think about those guys, and if you think about anybody in my life doing me dirty, it has to be those guys, right? Those guys held a gun to my head. Those guys forced me to strip naked and run into a field in the middle of November. I shredded my feet. I almost had fucking frostbite on my toes because I had to walk 1.5 miles in the snow, not in the snow, but in the freezing ass fucking frosty November shit. Naked. Those guys fucked me over bad. And I don't hate them. Think about where all the chocolate, bananas, and coffee are grown on the planet. Those places are about to be unfarmable. Enjoy your nanners. Yep.
And money from Hilly.
Yep. Krecklau again. I was by my parents at 13. I forgive, love, no regrets. There you go. Well, that's the way to live. To quote Marty from True Detective, I believe that grudges are the things that give you cancer. I think that shit's the shit that leads to cancer. Strangely, some people do turn their lives around. I hope that for those guys. I do. I hope that both of those guys got out of prison, found a better way. I hope they're not suffering like they were before they did what they did to me, and I hope they're not suffering in prison anymore. And that's my hope for them. You're right, Asbestos Fingers. I mean, it's a very fucking rosy hope in America to think that two young men institutionalized at a very young age are going to come out but people do. Some people do. How did you know about them? What do you mean?
Like, you kind of had to be involved.
I had to testify at the older one's trial. They were caught. I didn't know them before they did what they did to me, and I didn't know them after. In our system, they probably learned to be better criminals and now have less options with their records. Yep. You're right about that. How do we soften our hearts, Paul? That is a fucking insanely complicated question. And I honestly think that there are some people who just can't. Maybe they will develop the ability to over the course of their lives. Maybe it'll be life experience that softens their heart. Maybe it'll be some sort of, revelation, meeting the right kind of person and hearing the right kind of argument that softens their heart. But there's a lot of hard-hearted people in this world. And I think that it leads to a lot of social ills. Hey, Marxist, Leninist, and whoever,
Like,
take
you're
it.
not using ads, but you're still
Yeah,
snapping at
take
each
it
other.
to fucking DMs at this point. We're not talking about what you're talking about anymore. So you guys go suck each other off in private. This chat is supposed to be interactive with the show, and right now you're talking about shit that's not even going on. So go find each other, give each other your socials or whatever the fuck, and be done with it. I'm tired of looking at the chat and seeing the middle of your fucking conversation.
Came out of it with a dumb question.
It's dumb as fuck. Too dumb. I mean, that's why I think a lot of people don't like Highdeology, is because it kind of demands participation. Like, you can't just kick back like you can in a Twitch. Well, you can put me on and just do other things, but if you want to influence the show in any way, you can't just spam shit like you do in a fucking Twitch chat.
Yeah, this isn't like the
This is a
battleground for a chat room or
no.
whatever.
This is a conversation between me and the people that want to have a conversation with me. And some people, don't like that responsibility. It puts responsibility on the viewer to come with something.
Don't get sucked into the chat too hard.
Right. You can't spam shit without risk of getting banned. Well, of course. Nobody spams up in here. Like, it just doesn't happen here. If it does, it's dealt with extraordinarily quickly. We're materially incentivized to have a hardened heart. That means we need to address the social relations that bring that about, one of which, the superstructure reinforced by capitalism. I couldn't agree more. The end result of capitalism, the mantra, the secret mantra of capitalism is fuck you, got mine. That takes a hard-hearted person to look at a world of such abundance and look at somebody literally sleeping under a bridge and say, fuck you, got mine. But that's all we can do in a capitalist nation. What can I do? Go out and save every homeless person? I don't make that much money. Jeff Bezos does, but he's not coughing it up. That's why it's got to be taken from him by a tax policy, like a progressive upper bracket tax policy. If I streamed on Twitch, I'd be banned within 2 or 3 streams.
And just Twitch's model kind of sucks.
Yeah.
The whole exclusivity for 24 hours and fucking having to do it on a consistent schedule.
Yep. Yeah, I don't like it. Capitalism's attitude towards, like think about the different layers of attitude. As a nation, we have an attitude towards other nations. That is, you are subservient to us. We're dominant, And if you have something that we want, we will find a way to get it. And if we can't, we will engage in proxy wars with you. That's our national hardened heart. Look at the person-to-person hardened heart. Both sides. One side of the political aisle, leftists are fucking communist, fucking blah, 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 blah. The other side, these people are all hicks and hillbillies and fucking maggots and blah, 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 blah. Like the whole fucking superstructure of capitalism and the democracy, the Republican democracy, or the Democratic Republic model or whatever the fuck. It all stems forth from this harden your heart towards your fellow man shit.
Dude, I guarantee there's like some leftists like shitting on those Amazon workers in Georgia now. Like, oh, they're just a bunch of hicks that don't know what's good for them.
I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen any of that, but you're probably right. They fucking cucked to the company, blah, 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 stupid, blah, blah, blah. You know, it's just like, where's your fucking humanity? You understand what these people were risking? They were risking their livelihoods. And the sad truth of the matter is that they needed their shit back-breaking job more than they were willing to risk trying for something better. Learned all the good things in the Eden eye. We were too young to run, too dead to die. So, Marxist-Leninist, you said something earlier that kind of bothered me. You said individualism is killing us. Now, you might be right about that, but I don't see rugged individualism or personal philosophical individualism to be something that's directly adjacent to capitalism. In fact, I think a lot of the people that you probably revere were rugged individualists. Like what they put out might have been an argument for collectivism, but Karl Marx was an individualist. Karl Marx was a rugged individual who made what he made and had his philosophical stance at a time where it was not wildly popular. He had to be it. You see what I'm saying? So to downplay individualism as a whole, I think that there's a happy medium. I think that there is a way for people to live where we all agree on the boundaries of individualism being encroachment on my individualism. We all come to the agreement that you can be as weird and fucking crazy as you want as long as you're not hurting anybody or involving anybody fucking without their consent, right? If we all come to this kind of agreement that it's not individuality that's killing us, it's planned capitalistic collectivism. It's this idea that money is worth something that we've all fucking decided to play at here. And the game that comes with playing that. And that itself is a form of collectivism. I don't think individualism is the boogeyman here, man. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Like, great leaders kind of have to be individualists.
Right. I don't look at a dude that steps on somebody's fucking head and squashes it to get a bonus at work, metaphorically, right? Destroys somebody else's career and as a result gets elevated. I don't look at that person as an individualist. I look at that person who has bought into the collectivist idea that money is God. It's capitalism itself is the beating heart of this problem and always has been. It instills that in people. It instills that, fuck you, give me mine. Fuck you, give me mine. Oh, you got a problem over there across the street? Fuck you, got mine. Oh, you have a fucking career and I have a career and, you know, if I step over you, I could get fucking big. Fuck you, got mine. To the unemployment line with that ass. It instills that. That's not individualism. That's sociopathy. You know what I mean? Like, let's be real. Why do you think that sociopaths and psychopaths are rise so high in this country? Why do you think our giant corporations act? If you were to do what Citizens United implies, Citizens United implies that corporations are people and thus can make political donations, right? If you were to judge a corporation as a person, especially a large corporation, you would come to absolutely no other fucking conclusion than you're dealing with a fucking psychopath. Why do you think that that's true? We're not dealing with a problem of rugged individualism. We're not dealing with a problem of people who think outside the Overton window and think outside the box. Those people are not the fucking problem. The problem is capitalistic collectivism. The problem is all of us have decided that this greenback is worth something, even though it isn't, and that we are going to make our primary operative action in life to pursue that greenback. And the more we get, the more we hoard. The more we have, the less other people have, but fuck them.
You saw that in the pandemic.
Of course, the pandemic writ large, what capitalism has done to the American psyche. This unrestrained crony capitalism specifically has done to the American psyche. We went out and looted the fucking stores at the start of lockdowns. You guys remember that shit? Fuck you, got mine. Oh, you got family that needs bottled water? Fuck you, got mine. Oh, you got a family that needs this fucking staple? Fuck you, got mine.
Yeah, I need 50
You need meat?
rolls of toilet paper.
Yep.
I need fucking 50 pounds of meat.
You need meat, cleaning supplies. Fuck you, got mine.
See that Blue Noble hot take.
The crisis of empathy in America is worse than what happened on the 6th. Congress went on break last year during a crisis. That was worse. I mean, it's a hot take, but you got to understand, man. Capitalism is the demon. If you want a bad guy, the bad guy is capitalism. The bad guy in China is capitalism. China has adopted the worst parts of American capitalism and woven it into its collectivist philosophy and is acting like a capitalist nation acts. Europe, capitalism.
Nationalism and capitalism are closely intertwined.
They're basically the same thing to me at this point. Nationalism and capitalism come so freely together that they're almost indistinguishable. They're like vestigial twins on one another. These are the boogeymen in the world, okay? People that are hyper-exploiting everything, including people, hyper-exploiting their workers, hyper-exploiting the environment, and the constant dream that everybody's sold that if you work hard enough and step on enough necks, you can get a little piece of that pie or a big piece. You're just a temporarily disappointed millionaire. You're just a down on your luck future millionaire here in America, aren't you? And that dream keeps us stepping on each other's necks, fucking on each other, keeping our hearts hardened, which is what this started with. This started with a troll comment, by the way, asking me, do I hate Vosh? And we've now talked for about 30 minutes on actual hardening of hearts and what's happened to our country and what's happened to our civilization in general. The problem is the conflict of interest between the individual and society, which is primarily caused by the system, not mere attitudes of individuals, but the attitudes of individuals support the system. The system engenders a certain type of attitude in individuals. Uh-oh. You see the problem? Capitalism forces a worldview on you as a child, and it is drilled into your head. Hard work, getting a job, your school career has to be done right, or else you will never be anything in life.
Like, look at the valedictorian shit. Like, anyone that isn't in like the top 10% just doesn't have a chance.
Right.
You got to get into the best school. You got to step over people to get into that. You got to step over people to get the right job.
You got to be cutthroat from the start. Cutthroat from the start, and it's bred right into our little brains as acceptable and normal. It's anything but.
All this devaluing of essential labor.
Yep.
Like, oh, you're a failure if you're a janitor.
Right.
Failure if you're a garbage man.
Right. People, you know how many people still make fun of people for their jobs? Oh, go flip burgers. I'm guilty of this shit. I've done it in my life. It's fucked. What do you mean? How's that person functionally any less than I am? Because they didn't rise up the fucking weird capitalistic fiat currency totem pole as high as I did? Weird. Also think religious institutions like evangelical Christianity enable this. Of course they do. Dude, Christianity and capitalism, especially in America, they go hand in fucking hand. Hand in glove, dude. Just a little nationalism machine over there. Just a little capitalist, just reinforcing the social fucking ideas of labor and fucking acceptance and render unto Caesar and all of that shit. It's all funneling power to the elite. Jesus said that it is easier for a camel to get through the eye of a needle than it is for a rich man to attain the kingdom of heaven. So no, I don't think that the biblical Jesus would be down with capitalism. But that doesn't matter when you're talking about something as malleable as religion. When you're talking about a book that's essentially a bunch of fucking metaphors and riddles, it can mean whatever you want it to mean. See the fucking like uncountable hundreds of different sects of Christianity that all believe that their sect of Christianity is the correct one. Seventh-day Adventist, Free Will Baptist,
or the imperialism that Christian military or missionaries participate in.
Of course. Christian missionaries are essentially cultural invaders. They take a culture from America, lace it with religion, and travel to places that have no need or want of that religion and culture, and extol the virtues of it to try and convince the people in those areas to be more like us.
Yeah, Blue Noble, it is fucked. Like, I understand being like proud of your academic achievements, but to like lift them up so much higher than everyone else is a little.
Yeah, Noble says, my principal made every senior in high school stand up and sit down based on how high we scored on our ACT, only until the 30 pluses were left standing. Yeah, I mean, it's just like, fuck you. Why would you ever want to take a young person and make them feel stupid in front of their peers? Because that's really what that's about. Unless you're one of the people that gets to stay standing. It's about humiliating the people that didn't do it. Here are the best of you. It's like, what? Why is that part of school? What is that instilling in people? Competition. constant cutthroat competition. It instills in a lot of the people that don't get to keep standing a desire to step on necks until they outperform these people. Oh, yeah?
Where the exceptions prove the rules. Like, let's lift up this homeless person that happened to just have all the right factors to succeed in school, but not look at the bigger problem.
Right.
Let's say, like, fuck you, you can do it.
Right. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps.
No excuses.
Right? Get them young, get them dumb, give them fun, give them guns, because if they ain't giving it up, then they ain't getting none. Lupe Fiasco. Lupe Fiasco with a little bit of truth in that line. Chicago legend. Brick City. Chicago, Maine. 1st and 15th. I noticed the heart hardening in myself at work last week for a second when a coworker was talking about his troubles, being stressed yourself, makes your knee-jerk thoughts less. Well, who has time? When you're run ragged just to keep the lights on for your family, who has time to hear the woes and troubles of another person or care about it? That's part of how capitalism subsumes what I think is the genuinely decent heart of man and elevates the worst among us to positions of power. We talked about it earlier, but there are a profound amount of sociopaths and psychopaths in high positions in corporate entities.
And keeping people
And
desperate
government.
makes them more controllable, makes them turn against each other.
These people, like it or not, and I'm not trying to imply a Bilderberg thing, but if you look at sociopaths and psychopaths, they have a modus operandi. And that modus operandi is that people are a commodity to be used. Now, if a sociopath or a psychopath does not rise to the CEO level, they will personally use and abuse everybody in their lives to get whatever it is they desire. That is the hallmark of psychopathy and sociopathy. Which are oftentimes very intertwined. When you look at that entity going all the way to the top or somewhere in high middle management in a fucking company, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to use every bit of power they have to do the same shit. Exploit the fuck out of the people below them. Step on them to get higher. This is what happens. This is what capitalism encourages. Take the worst impulses and the worst fucking traditions of mankind and elevate it to the point where we worship these people. We don't have a God anymore in this country. God is an old kind of fable, and there are still some kind of quaint people that engage in that whole God worship thing. But God is money. And our gods are Jeff Bezos, Kim K, the rich, the powerful.
Or I mean, like, talking about like Kim K, like with Kanye West, like capitalism entertains his worst impulses, being bipolar. Like, there's plenty of bipolar people that probably don't get treatment because they rely on that mania to succeed.
And think about if you had nobody in your life to see that you were going through a manic period as a bipolar person. And instead had a bunch of sycophants around you going, oh, yeah, yay, that's hot. Do that. Yeah, do that. Do that. A bunch of yes men who are there to just get money off of you. You see what I mean? It enables the worst impulses in humanity and stifles creativity. It stifles fucking social mobility. It stifles community. All of these things that we think we have in this country that no longer exist. There's no community here. Nobody knows their fucking neighbors anymore. And if you do, it's in a cursory way. Back in the day, you used to take care of your neighbors and shit. A neighborhood was like a big extended family. If somebody was sick, everybody brought food. When's the last time you did that? You know what I mean? Community has utterly been subverted and fallen apart. We now live in cubicles right on top of each other, don't even know each other's names. That, to me, to bring it home, Marxist-Leninist, because you said that individuality is destroying the species, that, to me, is the subversion of individuality that's destroying the species. That's my contention. That's taking the individual and molding them into a good little corporate soldier. That's the subversion of individuality. Fuck you, got mine. That's not individuality. Like I said before, that's sociopathy.
And then, like what you're saying, Matt, like saying that we can't treat psychopaths, like they would be much more well-rounded individuals if they had an incentive to actually address those problems. But there's no incentive in this system to manage your sociopathy in any way. It fosters it.
He may be right. Sorry, that was a big hit. Woo! He may be right to a certain extent. Like, there may be people who, modern treatment methods, they're not going to help those people. What we can do is remove the opportunity for those people to rise above all of us and have power over millions or thousands of workers, you know what I mean? And have huge leverage in our economy and shit. We can remove the mechanism by which people who are like that really can't be helped can mass exploit, because this gives them an outlet. Capitalism gives people that are like that an outlet. And it reinforces that negative impulse that they have to exploit and use. Is this not the issue that we have to fucking face? Is this not the problem here?
You still can't get your fish and chips, Froggy.
Mushy peas or jellied eels. Oh, gross. Mushy peas, jellied eels, man. Fuck. Ugh.
You know, that reminds me of that fucking Lair of the White Worm, where he fucking Peter Capaldi eats the earthworms.
Yep. That's true. Haddock on chips. In my own theory, if someone were to able to commit to only sacrificing themselves the entire way, which would be limiting, maybe then they would achieve great things in time without effect on the outside. I mean, what if life wasn't all about chasing commodity? Let's dip into the realm of fantasism here for a second. Let's just think. Let's hypothesize a future civilization, okay? We've just talked about the evils of communism for about an hour, right? Let's hypothesize a future civilization where that doesn't exist. So what are we dealing with? We're dealing with a planet that is made up of resources that have to be harvested and exploited in order for us to grow. So let's envision a civilization that grows responsibly. So something like an arcology, where people are not spreading outward from city centers, but city centers are built up into beautiful arcologies that live in symbiosis with the land that they're on, allow the species that live on that land to still have habitats within them, They become arboreums of the types of plants that grow around there and human beings and the environment. This is called bright green environmentalism. This is the vision of a bright green environmentalist. The long-term vision. The short-term vision of a bright green environmentalist is some impossible transfer of our energy needs over to solar and wind. At this point, it's completely and utterly impossible. Can't be done. So, bright green environmentalism is fantasism. I don't believe that civilization would ever be able to maintain such a thing. I don't believe that civilization would still be able to exist while maintaining a respect for the land that it lived on and the other species that lived upon that land and the finite nature of resources.
Well, I think of how many people live on non-arable land now.
Right. I just don't believe it's possible. And so the conclusion that you come to, or at least that I come to, because I've explored this. I'm like, let's imagine a non-capitalistic society that isn't doing more damage than the environment can sustain. It's a fantasy. Unless you massively reduce the population of human beings on the earth,
Redistribute them
to arable land, get rid of factory farming, and kind of return them to a more tribal civilization that lives on different patches of land and moves with the seasons. That's when, mankind was in,
harmony. Yeah.
well, not harmony. There certainly wasn't there's never been fucking harmony on the planet.
Like harmony with the environment.
Right, but with the environment, there was a sense of equilibrium. Man took no more than the environment could provide, and in fact, far less.
Yeah.
Like every other species. Man was a localized thing. The rivers were teeming with salmon, and he took only a few salmon to feed the entire tribe, or the woods were teeming with deer or other game, and man took and woman took only what they needed to feed themselves, and with the seasons they moved on, and every time they rotated back, they found their environment flourishing and vibrant, because they never left it worse than they brought it. You know what I mean? When they took from it, they gave it time to rejuvenate itself. They made sure that they never took too much. They never overtook.
Well, they didn't have the resources to take too much.
Well, that's true, but let's say that they did, though. Let's say that that at one point the Tallua, who lived by the Klamath River, which was teeming with salmon, let's say they looked at that river of salmon, like Derek Jensen said, and saw dollar bills, right? Or whatever their, proto version of wait a minute. We're a tribe of 150 people or 1,000 people. We could be 30,000 people if I just started just getting all these fish. You know what I mean? Extra fish, sold that idea to the tribe, and then suddenly the tribe is like, well, then we wouldn't have to move.
Yeah.
And then a civilization is born.
And then
eventually,
the fish are gone and they need to import.
Right. Eventually, they denude their landscape of all fucking... So you know what I mean? But for something like 10,000 to 12,000 years, maybe even more, people lived this way. In harmony with nature. Did they live as long of lives? No. Did they have access to modern medicine? No, they didn't. Were there people that suffered because of that? Yeah. Are there people still suffering because of that? Yeah.
I mean, I think someone tried to label it as oh, you're just ableist for imagining this. It's there's people that had to pay literally 15 grand for their medicine every month.
But I'm the ableist.
Yeah.
There's actually wide examples, and I'm referencing American Indian tribes here, that people that were born with birth defects of some kind, whether they be psychological or physical in nature, were ultimately very well taken care of. They were not looked down upon in those societies, and the entire tribe came together to help and support these people. So were those people worse off than the person that's still suffering from those types of things but can't afford to get treatment or has nobody around to help them and are suffering in silence and alone? But I'm an ableist.
I mean, like, if you look at that and, like, contextualize it with our current knowledge, I'm sure there's more natural solutions to some things. Like, you could make something equivalent to an insulin regimen with,
Right.
like, saving, like, the most sugary things for them.
Right. The average tribal person worked 3 to 4 hours a day. That's because they weren't hyper exploiting. They weren't working in a factory that had to constantly be making things because it was shipping these widgets all over the world. Their work involved what it took for them to eat that day, what it took for them to upkeep their camp that day, what it took for them to decide that day amongst themselves to enact. That was their work. Their work was, I'm one of the guys or one of the people that goes fishing. So I'm going to the river today, and I won't come back until we've pulled 4 or 5 big fat salmon that can feed everybody. I'm a hunter. I'm going into the woods today. I'm not going to come back until I've got a deer or enough rabbits or whatever to feed everybody. Cool beans. I'm a camp tender. I'm going to stay here today and make sure that the camp is staying clean, doesn't have a bunch of bugs and shit in it. I'm going to clean up our blankets and robes. I'm going to stoke the fire. I'm going to prepare the food cooking apparatus so that when the hunters come back, we can start to cook and feed everybody. And that's my work for the day. Oh, I'm a child rearer. So while the hunters and huntresses and fishermen and fisherwomen are out doing their fishing, I'm going to watch the children. I'm going to stay with the tribe's children, and I'm going to make sure that that me and the other people that do this job are teaching the tribe's children how to be tribes people and explaining the world to them. You see what I'm saying? Someone's getting water. I'm going to go to the river, and I'm going to go upstream where it's really clean, and I'm going to get the drinking water for the day. And I'm going to fill 7 water skins, and then when I'm done with that, I'm done for the day. Because the whole tribe has enough water to clean themselves and to drink tonight. You see what I mean? That was a work day in a tribal society, and people want to tell me we're doing better now. When a work day is functionally, for a lot of people, 13, 14 hours a day. There's so many people working 2 full-time jobs now, it's not even funny, or taking so much OT that they're functionally working 12 hours a day, 13 hours a day. For just enough to scrape by on. Water skin, that slang for Pacific Islander, what?
Talking about, like, getting fresh
Getting
water.
making us, you know what, dude, I'm going to ban that fuck. I've made my decision. That's either a troll or somebody way too dumb to be talking to me. Noble Savage Theory gets 8 billion people in globalization nowhere. Recall Dunbar's number, 140 people. We can get busy. 8 billion, we're fucked, right? Gorn.
That's the only Keenism that's allowed.
I mean, because I use it anyway.
Yeah.
I don't even say gone anymore. I can't. It doesn't even sound right coming out of me. It's the stain he left on me. You know what I mean? What can I say? My friend yesterday was working from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. when I got off. He's tough, dude. He's tough, but I'm telling you, he will burn. He'll burn out. Your friend will reach a point where he just physically and psychologically can't take it anymore, and he'll burn out, and hopefully there's a safety net there for him, because that's unsustainable. He might do it for years. I did it for years, and I'm telling you, dude, it burns people right the fuck out. Took a little under 4 years for me to get burnout. You know, I don't want to speak for Amelia, but she did 3 years and change at Amazon, or just right about 3 years. And how close were you to burning out?
I was completely drained. I was probably drained before that.
Right, and you just kind of limped along for a while.
I had to get FMLA to
reduce your hours.
Yeah.
It used you up, right? Would you say that?
Yeah.
Like, okay, this is interesting because Amelia did 3 years at an FC in Indiana, right? Which, that's pretty rare, right?
Yeah.
The turnover rate at an FC is
the not the average, but like the most common thing was like 3 months or something.
Okay, can you guys hear Amelia? Okay, I just want to make sure that she's soft spoken and I'm not, and I don't want her to have to be on camera, but I'm gonna put the phone a little closer to her so that you can hear her because I want to talk to her about this.
So it's like the majority of people that started at Amazon lasted like 3 months.
Okay, so the turnover. What do you remember them ever talking about average turnover rate for your FC?
That's what I heard.
So it was like about 3 months.
Yeah. So,
you did 3 years.
Yeah. It's like there's really only like two extremes at Amazon. You either burn out immediately or you grit your teeth and stay there for like years.
Right. So you knew a few people that maybe even had more time than you, but had the same or around the same time as you. You had friends there that had worked there for a long time. So it's not like everybody immediately burns.
Yeah, but it's like the majority of people that started there couldn't handle it.
3 months out.
Yeah.
And then the people that stayed, okay. So your job, you were a picker?
Yep.
So explain to everybody what that means.
So that was taking a little cart to, you'd have a scanner telling you what shelf and what bin, and that was completely random. They weren't sorted by category or anything. And when I started, it was 70 units an hour.
Mm-hmm.
So a little over 1 item a second. By the time I left, it was like 110 units an hour. And that's with the manual picking. The ones that do the, that have the robots in the facility, theirs is like easily 300 units an hour.
Okay.
And then the people that put things on the shelves, they had about the same, like 300 units an hour.
Okay, so you were a person that was basically fulfilling orders.
Yeah, so I went around. There were 4 floors that I could potentially be on.
So it was a 4-story facility.
Yeah, so like, you know, ideally they'd keep someone on the same floor to make you go faster, but if there was less work than usual, you could be going like 10 items on one floor, go up the stairs, find a cart, do another 10 items, go up a floor, do another 10.
How did the cart get upstairs with you?
There was different carts on different floors, so you had to go find
So you were just up, downstairs some days, all day?
Back and forth sometimes trying to find a cart if they weren't where they were supposed to be or whatever.
So you would put the item in the cart, and then you would deliver and scan those items, obviously, as fulfilling this order, this order, this order, this order.
25 in a bin, I think, is what they wanted as an ideal. Then you put it on the conveyor belt.
Then you put it on the conveyor belt, and it goes to who?
The packers.
The packers. And what do they do?
They take all the items and they package them. I think they have a higher rate of like maybe they had like 250 an hour of things they had to like pack and send to the thing that puts the stickers on them and sends them to the trucks.
Okay.
There are people that sat there by the trucks all day and had forklifts for all.
What were they called?
It was
that job. Do you remember? Loaders or?
It was like dock. That's what they called
dock.
It. People on the dock that dealt with the trucks
and there were people that did that every day.
Yeah.
Their whole job was just they go sit by the trucks. The trucks continuously come. They unload the trucks
and reload the trucks
and then load the trucks. Load the outgoing trucks with the stuff you picked.
Yeah.
And then sent to the conveyor belt people.
The packers.
The packers.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to come up with like a cycle.
Or the stowers, like if it was incoming product, it would be restowed.
So
they would do transship, which is they weren't packaged in individual packages, but they'd be bins that would be put on a pallet that would be sent somewhere else.
So this is a really interesting idea for me, and I want to see if I'm right about it because we haven't talked this in depth about it personally, honestly. So here it seems to me like everything begins and ends at dock.
Yeah.
As a as an FC worker.
Yeah.
Now, of course, there are levels of management, right? We can
Yeah.
talk about that later, but I'm talking about for the average person that's working in an FC.
Yeah.
Everything begins and ends at dock.
Yeah.
So somebody at dock pulls the product from a truck, and they send it to
The stowers.
The stowers.
That have to put it away.
The stowers take it to these different areas
Yeah.
that are set up so that I assume like items are all put together.
No,
kinda
not like items at all. It was
Really?
wherever there was space is where things were put.
That doesn't make any sense.
That was the most efficient way, was to not
Makes
organize it at all, because Amazon's so diverse.
So it's just everywhere?
Yeah, so it's
So,
like,
like,
there
you
would
could
be like I don't know, like cat litter next to a teacup.
So it's like a topsy-turvy fucking
Yeah.
grocery store with
Yeah.
no rhyme or reason.
Yeah, well,
That's
it's just
four
because,
stories.
Yeah, on both sides. Like
So there would be,
times
like-
that people would be sent all the way to the other side of the building.
There were. I remembered you talked about jewelry. There was
Yeah.
a specific place where precious items
Yeah,
and
but
expensive
it was
items
still
went,
like
right?
a whole floor. It was still like
All over the
thousands
place.
of bins. Yeah. Those
So-
were more grouped together by necessity, because like the watches could only fit in certain bins.
Right. So let's go back. Doc unloads, sends it to the fucking stowers. The stowers find a place for it wherever,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, they're told what bins, because they have counters too. The people that counted were called ICQ, and they determined like if everything was where it was supposed to be, and also kind of where there was room.
So there was a person whose job it was to try and find where each load was going, and we
Well, the counter, it was mostly like the computer system that figured out where empty bins were, but the ICQ people were there to verify.
Were they a smaller group of people?
Yeah, but they had
Okay.
to sit there and just count all day.
Okay. So there's just a person counting all the items coming off the truck.
Or not off the truck, but like once they're in the bins, they verify that whatever's there is supposed to be there.
Fair enough. So they're going around all day and just counting and making sure that everything is where it's supposed to be.
Yeah,
Okay, and that ends the intake.
yeah,
Then the outtake starts with you, your job,
Yeah.
pickers.
yeah,
So an order comes into Amazon, it's fulfilled by your fulfillment center.
yeah,
It's on your list of shit that you got to put in a bin.
yeah,
So you go find it, you scan it, put it in a bin.
Yeah.
Find the next one, scan it, put it in a bin. Once the bin is full, you take it somewhere, and I'm assuming it's somebody's job to transport it, or did you transport full bins to the conveyor belt?
yeah. So like you would have like 2 or 3 bins on a cart, and then when those were full, you put it on the conveyor belt.
So you just put the whole cart on the conveyor belt?
No, not the
or
whole
the
cart.
bins?
Yeah, it's the 3 bins. Yeah.
And then you just go right back to picking?
Yeah. And here's the more important thing. You can only have an error rate of like 1 in 100,000.
An error? So if you fuck up and
Yeah.
pick the wrong item,
Yeah. Or forget an item.
or forget an item and
yeah.
put a bin out that's
Yeah.
that should have an item in it, but you didn't put it in the right bin, or
Yeah.
you whatever. If you fuck that up, more than 1 in 100,000
Yeah.
picks, you're fired.
Or you get, like corrective training first, and then you're fired.
Okay.
I got corrections for damaging out an item that wasn't supposed to be damaged. So like if something was fucked up in a bin, you put it in its own little thing saying this is damaged. But they would be critical, like, oh, it's fine. Don't put it in the damage bin. Like I'm sure you've gotten some fucked up boxes.
I
on
mean,
Amazon,
sure.
Yeah.
So from dock, it goes through. I keep forgetting that name. The
The stove.
stow. Okay, so it goes to stow and the counters, ICQ,
Yeah.
and it goes
And
to
they
you.
count constantly.
Right.
Like they count based on because they want to make sure the right items are being picked. So
Sure.
like if someone takes too many of them, it shows like a discrepancy in how much was in the bin and stuff.
Got it. So they're doing that. Then it comes to the picker. The picker picks it, puts the bins on the conveyor belt, and then it goes to
pack or
Pack.
dock. Like, 'cause sometimes there was transship where things stayed in the bins and they'd be sent somewhere else where they'd be shipped out more efficiently.
Okay.
Or if there's not room, like there'd be stuff coming in from another facility that would be put away and then it would be shipped out.
All right. Let's wait for this train because
Yeah.
I know they can hear me over the train, but they probably won't. This is really interesting to me, and it gives you an idea. Like, look at the stark difference between what Amelia is describing and the tribal life that we were describing earlier. And just keep that in your mind.
Well, it's like, I mean, the error rate, the pressure was enormous. Like, you
Of
wouldn't
course.
get immediately fired, but, like, you know, you would.
You get corrective action, you get enough of those, you're fired. It's
Yeah.
the same way in every fucking capital.
Yeah.
Like,
and speed, if you weren't meeting your
Right.
rate, then I think they got rid of the bottom 10% of people on rate. So you could have been doing your job for years at 70.
did you ever get close to where you felt like you were just like one fuck up from being fired?
I mean, I put more pressure on myself, so I probably felt that way when it wasn't actually the case. But,
Right.
like, you just can't relax at all. Like, if you're not on, then
So after you did, how long was a typical day over there for you?
it was 10 hours. I did 12 hours night shift during the holidays one time, but it was normally 10-hour days. You would have 2 breaks and a lunch, so it would be like, 2.5 hours.
How long are your breaks?
15 minutes.
So you get half an hour of total break, which is like you go out, have
Yeah.
a smoke, sit
Yeah.
down for a
And
minute.
that's not including travel time. So if you're on the 4th floor in the back, you still only have 15 minutes to.
So if you just happen to be on the 4th floor all the way
Yeah.
to the back when your
Yeah.
break starts, your break includes the time that it takes you to walk down to the break
Yeah.
area.
And if you go outside, going through security.
So functionally, how many minutes did you get for breaks?
Probably 5
You're kidding.
if you count like all the travel time. And then by the time I was out the door, I had like 5 minutes, and then I had to turn back around and go back.
I am so sorry.
And then, I mean, there were people that had like side jobs too, like just putting enough of the bins on each floor or filling up the little water
Custodial.
carafes and stuff. Yeah.
Custodial,
Yeah.
all that shit has to be done there. Yeah.
The managers don't have desks. They don't get to. No one gets to sit at all. Basically,
There's not a chair in the place.
Yeah, I mean the counters get like little stools to sit on just because they're just sitting there.
Counting all day.
Yeah, but
How do people survive like that? Well, you're talking to somebody who did for 3 years.
and, there was 60-hour work weeks during the holidays. And
I'm fucking speechless. That's insane.
yeah, there was some cross training, so like you didn't always do the same job every day. Like if you were training something else and they needed you to do that, you would do that. But
You might show up one day thinking you're going to pick all day and
Yeah.
then find out you're going to be on dock.
yeah,
Yeah. But functionally, it's the same shit. You're just running all goddamn day,
yeah.
10 straight hours.
And yeah, like to have time to do pee breaks, you have to basically do double time. Like you have to be.
So you have to get extra shit done if you want to take
Yeah.
a pee break.
Yeah, so like that's why I went so fast, was so that I would have a little leeway.
Because
Yeah.
you've got a small bladder.
Yeah.
You pee a
so
lot.
I'd have to go like 200 an hour and then pee and then go back to that to make sure I
Are
was
you
still.
fucking joking?
Yeah. Like I think the highest I ever did was 200 an hour. managers would get fucked too. It's like if you were a manager, you were basically consenting to any day they'd tell you, oh, you're in a different department, you're in a different shift, or you're doing day shift, well, you're doing night shift now. You don't have a choice.
Right. We live at a time where Amazon is not the only source for things anymore. I'm after having this conversation with you and hearing the breadth and the scope of all of this. You and I used to talk about your days at work, but we would talk after work usually or before, and you didn't want to talk about work. You had to go face it. And we've never really sat down and had this talk together as a couple. I'm not ordering from that fucking company anymore. You can mark it down. I'm canceling my Amazon Prime today. That's it. I will get my fucking shit directly through my Roku TV. I'll buy fucking HBO. I'll buy Showtime through that. Fuck Amazon. There's no way not to put money in Amazon's pocket because they own a lot of the hosting companies and shit. I'm not making any more orders that are making people do what you do anymore. I make enough money to where I can afford to do that. I can order directly from manufacturers. We can go down to somewhere else and get a fucking TV if we need. How often do we need a fucking TV?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Little knickknacks, little shit. I'm done. Maybe a fucking meaningless gesture in these fucking days, but I'm saying it publicly. I'm done. I'm canceling my shit today. I've had Amazon Prime for fucking years. I'm done. I don't need my shit in 2 days. I can wait a week for my shit. I'm done. I'm not going to do it no more. What you described is not a job. It's a labor camp. I'm not supporting that shit anymore. Fuck that company. I'm doing, like, the best I can do is cancel that fucking shit. I'm canceling it today. If I've got orders out, I'm canceling them. You help me do it. You know how to do it.
I can help you do that.
Yep. You down with doing it?
I mean, we can do, like, try to make sure that HBO Max is through them specifically. We could get Netflix.
I just got to cancel my fucking subscriptions over there.
Yeah.
And then when that runs out, because HBO Max and the Prime subscription are linked.
Yeah.
I found out when I got HBO Max, because you can't watch Godzilla on Prime.
Yeah.
So I thought, oh fuck, I got to sign up for HBO Max. I was going to cancel on Prime, but I went to try and log in. They're linked. So when the fucking shit runs out from that, I'll just go back on the fucking HBO app and website and pay them directly. And that's how I'll get our TV. We have no way to dodge around some of their internet services and shit. But when it comes to like fucking ordering shit from them, I make enough money that we don't need them as some kind of fucking stopgap in our lives. And we're not materialists, so how often do we really need to order this shit anyway? Fuck it. Amazon's Mechanical Turk service. Have you heard of that? No. Jeff Bezos won't even fucking notice. But I'll notice. I'll know that nothing that I ordered, no knick-knack that I needed, had somebody working double time so they had time to go pee. I can at least say that. I left Amazon due to high COVID cases. I live with my grandparents, and they came after my unemployment, making it extremely hard at the time.
I mean, I left Amazon partly because I was burned out, and partly because I wanted to go meet Paul. Just happened to work out. We're like right around to hit the 3-year mark. We had gotten together.
Yeah.
There wasn't an equivalent warehouse in Louisiana.
I don't think he would have wanted to fucking transfer.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I tried Kohl's, and Kohl's is kind of similar, or it felt kind of similar, honestly, with the bins and scanners and stuff. So
It's you know, it's a performative gesture for sure to decide as a single person or a single family to not use Amazon anymore. But I don't know any better way. You know what I mean? There's only, I don't know how else to fight it. I can't put people through that shit. It's just bullshit. They're not the only source for things in the world. Their distribution network might be unavoidable at some levels, but I'm gonna do my best. They're not gonna get my fucking monthly charge anymore. That's over.
yeah, I mean, I've heard that like the financial services can be equally like long hours.
You know what, dude? I've got to call my fucking credit card company too and cancel and reopen a new credit card because I've got a
Yeah.
Amazon Prime
I
card.
mean, you could just let it sit there and not put any more money on it and get a new credit card.
That's what I want to do is just
Yeah.
call my company and say what other fucking
Yeah.
credit cards.
Well, I'm sure Chase has a bunch of offers for you, and you
Probably.
could just. I would just leave that credit card because if you cancel it, then it fucks up your credit. So
Oh,
just
yeah, just
leave
make
it.
just leave it at a, doesn't leaving it at a zero balance fuck up your credit too? Doesn't
Nope.
having a non-revolving line of credit fuck
Nope.
up your credit too?
It's more important that you have like the years and stuff. So like.
Can't that just, well, I'll talk to the people about it. Maybe they'll be able to just transfer that credit card to a different type of credit card that isn't linked to Amazon in
you
any
could
way.
probably just leave it. Like just have it be a thing. Oh, you're saying that it does fuck up your credit leaving it at zero?
I remember that from my days back in the day. I used to be with somebody that was an
Yeah,
accountant.
I mean, so.
So I remember
You
like
could
having
try
having a
transfer.
completely flat line of credit that has no revolution in it at all
Yeah.
is bad over the long term. So I'm just going to try and get it changed to a different kind of card. I'd rather take the immediate hit of if it has to be a cancellation, which I don't see why it would if I'm staying with the same goddamn company, but you know, there's no need for it anymore. So yeah, I just got to cancel that
Well, I
shit
mean,
out.
that card too, it like gives you points on Amazon.
That
but-
which are useless to me.
yeah. Well, I'm just saying, like, you're just looking for like a better rewards program or whatever.
Whatever. I don't even care if it's just a straight fucking credit card or whatever. But yeah, if they can give me like airline miles or some shit, I'm gonna be flying a lot. So transfer it over to some shit like that and just revolve it like we normally do. I'm lucky, man. I went through a period of my life when I was about Amelia's age in my 20s. My credit was all fucked up. I had 2 maxed out credit cards. And I was always overdrawing my fucking checking account and shit and paying the fees on it. I was living pretty fucking stupid. And because of that time in my life and how long it took me to dig out from under that, I've really tried to be responsible, keep only 1 credit card and all that shit. My parents fucked themselves over with that shit. When they had to file bankruptcy, before they did it, they were literally just like bouncing credit card payments between credit cards and shit. You know what I mean? You have no credit. I mean, that kind of sucks in this society. But I lived it like that for a long time, and now I just don't, man. I just don't. The cost of that in my life is that I'm not a super fucking materialist. I buy what I need You know what I mean? I have a few little things like video games mostly that I'll spend money on that I like. Subscriptions to movie services and shit, but I'm not a big purchaser. So that's been a big help for me. But there have been multiple times, even in the last 5 years, where I was living on credit. There was like a whole year after we moved to Amazon, Amazon, after we moved to Amazon. I've got Amazon in the fucking brain now. After we moved to Louisiana, where I basically lived on my credit card. It sucked. It's just one of them things.
It just worked out so conveniently with Amazon that right around the pandemic when their stock exploded that they don't issue stock anymore to their employees.
Yeah, convenient.
That was the cost of $15 an hour, is that you get no monthly bonuses for productivity and no stock. The first job in this day and age is probably filling out 10 online applications a day and keeping
Yeah.
your phone on.
She knows better than I would. The last time I actually had to go out and hit the streets and look for a job, the world was different. Like that, the advice that I would give you is like 20 years out of date.
Yeah. It's mainly, going on those job search websites like Indeed, sorting by what is within your qualifications and just doing it over and over and over again. Like, I think I applied to like 60 places before I got my first job.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Consider nepotism as well. If you live in an area where you know people, you might want to hit them up and say, hey, you got work over by where you're at.
Sometimes people get bonuses for recruiting people. So like,
Right.
if you have a friend at like, I don't know, Panera or something, you can probably get an in.
Right. If you know somebody that works somewhere, you've got an in that most people don't have. You know what I mean? So use your friends and family, and if they've got like a decent job somewhere and you want to try, like that's how I got my most lucrative job that I've ever had prior to this one. Working for the school district, that was a total nepotism move. My brother-in-law was working for the school district at the time. He came to me and he was like, hey, there's a position doing what I'm doing, opening up, and I could talk you up to the boss and shit. And I was fucking burnt on working at Starbucks. I did 8 years there and it was just over. And so I told him,
the
yeah, dude.
barrier to entry is a lot lower in like these Walmart jobs and shit.
Right.
Because they have high turnover rates.
Right. Do you have a pet? We have two. Dinor, my little dog, and Cricket. A beautiful black
Are you
crap.
brand new?
Yeah, he might be. That's why I didn't shit on him.
Yeah.
Here is Cricket. Sitting next to me. Look at him. Isn't he cute? Look at the coffee stain on the bottom. Ignore that. Look at how cute Cricket is. Sitting next to Skinny Paul.
Dinor, wanna go say hi?
And then there's Dinor, yeah.
Say hi to chat.
Come here. Come up here and introduce yourself to the person who asked, at the least. Let me put you on the camera. Come on. Get up here. Let me lift you.
Oh, baby.
Here's Dinor. This is our dog.
No.
And he doesn't want to be in my lap right now, so that's what you get.
Yeah. Yeah, he picked out his sweater. He decided
did.
yesterday that that's what he wanted.
He did. Yesterday, he literally picked out that sweater and told me to put it on him. I shit you not. He got all antsy and shit, was whining like he had to go potty. I brought him out here and he just looked at me weird and wouldn't even go out on the grass. And then I let him back in the house and he went directly to that sweater and sniffed it and whined again. And I was like, you want me to put that on you? And he got all excited and I put it on him and then he walked off and went and did his own thing. He wanted the sweater. What do you want me to do about it?
Dinor was scared of Cricket at first. because he was used to Squex, who was a little nightmare to Dinor.
Yeah, Squex, when he was younger, treated Dinor like a fucking lion treats a zebra. You know what I mean? But now Dinor and Cricket are like bros. They troll each other. They chase each other back and forth in the house. They play.
Cricket's never scratched Dinor or bitten Dinor,
No.
and vice versa.
He does him a boop. Like he'll do him a swipe, but it's the same way he does me a swipe when we're play boxing. You know what I mean? Like Dinor will run up on him and spook him, and he turns around and does him a swipe, and Dinor runs off and he chases Dinor, and then a second later, fucking Cricket will come tearing ass down the hallway with Dinor chasing him. They have a great time together. And then at the end of the day, pretty often they end up snuggled up right next to each other on the bed and sleeping.
Not
every
each other, but,
not every day.
but-
Sometimes, dude, they touched booties a few times.
They touch booties, but they don't like curl up together.
Yeah, they don't like cuddle up like friends, but they'll end up, with their little curled up in the same spot. They're bros. That's just it. They're buddies now.
They're jelly of each other.
Yeah.
Cricket will want to be in the middle of the bed between us, and Dinor will come barreling in.
Yep. You getting your flu jab? I'm getting we've got our tomorrow. I'm getting my first dose.
So I gotta remind you not to stream tomorrow so we can make it to that.
That's true. Well, I just won't.
Yeah.
I'll stream maybe after we get it if I'm feeling okay. If I'm not one of the people that has a bad reaction to it or whatever. But yeah, we've got our tomorrow.
Yeah, we're getting the Pfizer.
Yeah, we're getting the Pfizer as well.
Mainly because it was the first thing that popped up, and we didn't really see a reason to be picky.
It was the one that the place that we were able to schedule out was offering, so I was like, the only one that I wanted to be picky about was I didn't want to get the 1 dose.
Yeah.
I want to get the 2-dose one,
Yeah.
and
Well,
so
it seems like that one's actually getting linked with blood clots too. Like
Yeah.
the AstraZeneca one is. So.
well, whatever. So yeah, no, I'm good with the way it worked out. We actually got our 2nd dose scheduled too, a full month after the first one, and then once that's done, we can start thinking about maybe going out and shit. Like going on a trip.
We might just ship Chelsea here just to give Dinor a grooming.
Oh yeah, dude. Treat her like a queen when she's here, dude. Roll out the red carpet, have a beautiful Chelsea room just for her, and then pay her an exorbitant sum of money to give Dinor a clip, all at our expense, and then fly her home in luxury.
Yeah.
No, I gotta tell you, man, it is like that is one of the things that I honestly think is gonna have to happen. Like, I'm gonna have to learn how to trim Dinor a little bit on my own, and then it's gonna become like a yearly or bi-yearly thing where I fly out with Dinor and or Chelsea flies out to us at our expense and just chills for a day or two and gives Dinor a clipping and a because she's so good with him. And I just have zero trust for these other fucking places after that last shit.
I mean, yeah, we're probably not going to travel internationally for a while, but
No.
I think the U.S. has hoarded enough vaccines that they're probably going to get everyone that is willing to get one.
Yeah, I mean, like you got to have a fucking metric. I'm still gonna be safe. I'm still gonna be wearing a mask and shit in public, probably for a while, and I'm not gonna be going to big ass fucking ass to ass sweaty ass concerts or anything. But like actually doing some travel, like I want to go visit Zach from the chat. I want to set up a time with him where we can go back east. Amelia's got family back there, so like it just totally makes sense. I want to spend some time with Zach, get some tattoo work done, go see and meet Amelia's family that's back east. You know what I mean? Like that trip is high up on my list. Trips.
I mean, the vaccine, you gotta provide your health insurance information, but most people that don't probably have Medicaid. I haven't heard anyone paying for the
don't know.
vaccine yet, but
We'll see tomorrow.
yeah. Yeah. America has decided that we're going to hoard all the vaccines, but maybe that's for the best because we had the most people die from COVID.
Right. You nervous about meeting her family? No, not really. I mean, there's always like trepidation that you're going to show up and it's like her whole family, like a person's whole family is going to be like just people that are rubbed the wrong way by you. But I'm not that, that I know that that's not the type of person that I am. I'm pretty much a social chameleon, and most of the people that I meet end up liking me on a personal level.
I mean, you've met a couple of my family members. It's been
Yep.
chill.
Yeah, I chilled with your dad, and that was cool. He and I laughed and had a good time and had a political conversation. That's all good, So I've always had good, well, not always. I do have some anecdotal evidence that people's parents have hated me, but, it is what it is. I don't really worry myself about it. I gotta blow my nose.
Yeah, they're aware of what Paul does. My mom's actually a patron.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, Hades is awesome. I got to the final level for the first time yesterday. I didn't beat the final boss, but I got like halfway there. This takes time. Oh yeah, Athena is OP. That's how I got to the end the first time, was having like all of her deflect boons.
Yeah, I know.
Just talking about Hades a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
The OP Divine Dash.
Oh, yeah, dude. The Reflector Dash. It's a must. Yeah, I was kicking ass at Outlanders last night, too. I beat another big boss. Gotten a bunch of better gear. I'm moving on up. About to be max level. Well, not about to be, but a couple more days probably I'll be max level.
Dude, I think we've lost all hope for the PS5 anytime soon.
I don't even care. I wasn't going to buy one anyway. I'm going to wait until the PS5 Slim comes out in a couple years, and I'll get that. I'm not this, like, I got to get the console the day it comes out type of person ever.
Got burned by the PS4.
Dude, Pranob, get it. Get out. Dude, I was wrong about fucking Outlanders. Or Outriders.
Oh, are you talking about the PS5?
I don't know. I think he's talking about it because he had asked me about Outriders a while back. And I went and looked, and I'd pre-fucking purchased Outriders a while back and forgotten about it. So I had the game. So I played it when it was in beta or whatever, right before it released, and it was horrible. The release was horrible, but a week after release, it became a really playable, fun game, and I've been having a fucking great time with it. So, not Outlanders, it's Outriders. If you're downloading Outlanders, I mean, if you've got the cash, Pranob, I'll jump in and play fucking Outriders with you for sure. I've got a high level character, but
Yeah, it'd probably take a while to.
Well, that's
you can go back to chat.
That's the thing is like it's not gonna hurt me to have start a new character.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So Pranob, I've got a lower level character, so Pranob could get some other character to another level, and then I could play my level 10 fucking trickster that I've got. But my main character is a devastator, like the tank class or whatever the fuck. But I'm willing to play anything. So Pranob, just pick whatever, get it. If you got the money, pick whatever you want. Let me know what you picked, and I'll pick something that complements it, and we'll kick ass together.
Yeah, it's Steam. So you have to be Steam frenzies.
Yeah, I think we're already Steam friends. Outriders. It's fun, dude. Having a lot of fun with it. It's a cool game. Yeah, well, I mean, whatever you want to do, dude. Like I said, if you got the money, snag it up. We'll play some games.
Oh, you removed him?
Removed who?
Pranob?
I removed Pranob? Did I? Yikes. I did a bunch of purges trying to get my fucking ridiculously overbloated friend thing, and you probably got... Dude, I'm sorry. It was unintentional, I guarantee you. I just went through and was like deleting mass amounts of like DP fans. Like I got like 90,000 people, and you just got caught up in the whirlwind. No, we'll friend up again. We'll figure it out. Oh yeah, I saw your before and after pictures, dude, and it's fucking insane. It's fucking insane, the transformation you've gone through, dude. It's crazy. Look at you. Beach bod Pranob. I bet you feel better, too. Yeah, Game Pass has it for free if you got an Xbox. And there's crossplay, too. It was disabled for a while, but they've apparently got it working again.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if we did get another console, I'd be interested in the Xbox just because the offerings that they have in the future.
I think that either or a Switch, because Switch is always just such a unique. But I'm gonna wait until Switches are cheaper and shit. But yeah, I'll probably end up getting if I get consoles, it'll probably be an Xbox Series X once they've perfected that, because they will release a Series X2. You know what I mean? I'll get that, and then get a Game Pass thing. It's reached a point now where consoles and PC games have pretty much reached equilibrium in terms like a lot of PC games are being held back if you're a big graphics whore by the fact that they're cross compatible or developed as console games. But I think it's cool. So if I were to get one in the future, probably an Xbox. I've had PlayStation forever. I haven't had an Xbox in a while, so give that a shot and get a Switch down the road. But
yeah, I gotta start getting into Bayonetta again.
Oh yeah, you were kicking ass. Just got home, so I'll get Outriders now. All right, well, play through the little intro part, and then shoot me a fucking DM on Twitter and let me know what class you picked. And I'll pick a class or whatever, and I'll start, and we can hook up, and I'll level to wherever you're at, because I'm real fast at it now. I know the game really good. I did the first part of the game especially twice with my first character, and then finally with the Devastator. Paul, what was your main in Diablo 2? I didn't really have a main. I played every character in Diablo 2, but the first character that I played in Diablo 2 was a Necromancer. I played a Bone Necromancer the first game playthrough that I did of Diablo 2, so Probably my favorite character is the Necromancer. What up, gamer? Hello there, gamers.
Yeah, that's something I've definitely noticed with the PS4 controllers, the drift shit.
Yeah, it happens. Controller drift, dude. You're thinking of Pyro? Sounds good. Pyro, to be honest with you, a Pyro Devastator combo would be fucking amazing, but Pyro goes well with Trickster, which I have like a level 12, I think, Trickster, so that might actually be the way to go, is just have you level up. It won't take you long to get to like level 10, and then me and you could party up.
I mean, the Devastator is probably better for like a newer character with the health, wouldn't you say?
Well, I mean, a Trickster's the same way. Every character in the game, it's the cool thing about this game is they heal by doing damage. Like, the only way to really truly heal is there's some skills that'll heal you, but it's to do damage and kill other things. So every character has to be aggressive in some way or another. I might roll up, because it would be really cool, a Pyro fucking Technomancer. I might roll up a Technomancer if you're going to go Pyro. Because, yeah, I played in multiplayer with some Pyros, and they're just insane. They just spread dots like crazy. And Technomancers are a healing kind of support class. So that would be a really good combo, I think. So I'm going to try it. I'll roll up a Technomancer. Do-do-do-do-do. You'll get it. It's super simple, dude. The game is really, not simple, but the game is super duper, like, I'll walk you through the weird.
I mean, cover is definitely a big thing in the beginning.
In the beginning, you got to take cover a lot, and in the end, well, as a Devastator, I just hardly ever take cover, but at certain classes, you're going to want to, the cover system, and it's pretty good. Cover system is pretty decent. So it's like a cover-based fucking third-person shooter, RPG mechanics. It's all pretty self-explanatory. You've played a ton of games that have these mechanics in them, so you'll be fine. Game is Outriders we're talking about. I think video games will overtake books as the greater art form of education. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, my sisters had to play like little math games and stuff.
I saw it happening when I was working at the school district. A lot of the stuff that the kids were learning were through little visual games and stuff. I could totally see it being integrated into the curriculum. Will it replace books? I don't know. Books will probably be digitized and stuff like that, but they'll still be books in theory. If it's someone close to Division and shooting, oh yeah, I think it's pretty close to Division. Yeah, the story for me is like pretty skippable and shit, but the action is good. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this. Have a good time. Hit me up, Pranav. See you later. Bye.